Hi, welcome to a new vlog. Today I'm going to be doing a 48-hour readathon focusing on self-care and getting stuff done. I am in the middle of way too many books and I just want to kind of finish them up and also read some books that I've been very excited about. I'm on chapter 7 of The House of Hades by Rick Riordan, which is the 4th book in the Heroes of Olympus series, which I want to finish up in the next month or so. The Devil's Thief, by Lisa Maxwell, which is the 2nd of the Last Magician series. I am also in the middle of The Cursed Crowns, which is the 2nd one of the Twin Crown series, and I haven't really been in the mood to read any of them, and so I have 2 other books here to hopefully get through in this 48 hours. I'm not really sure what I'm going to be reading. I'm just telling you all of the possibilities. I definitely want to continue The Heroes of Olympus, House of Hades, and I've been wanting to read these 2 books I'm going to share with you now. The other 2 are kind of on the back burner for now. I mean, it's not that I'm not enjoying them, it's just I'm just not in the mood for them at the moment. But here I have The Beautiful Ones by Silvia Moreno Garcia, which I really want to read. It's a kind of cozy fantasy, historical fiction book. The Beautiful Ones is a tale of love and betrayal and the struggle between conformity and passion in a world where appearance is everything and scandal is a razor-sharp weapon. I mean, I think that's enough. And then I have My Aunt is a Monster, which is a graphic novel. It's about a blind girl that loses her parents, goes to live with her monster aunt, which I'm not sure she knows she's a monster, but she's a very, very well-known adventurer. And it's all about self-acceptance and coming of age, I think, and going on adventures, self-development, and I'm excited to read this. It's the morning of the first day, the start of the readathon. I have woken up relatively recently, so I'm still a bit sleepy. I'm gonna make some coffee. We have a leftover cake, and so I think I'm gonna eat those and put Percy Jackson on for the morning, kind of work a little bit, prepare to be able to spend the next 2 days just reading. I hope to maybe bake something in the next few days, go on a walk. The day's starting to look a bit better. It was quite cloudy in the morning, but now there's a bit of sun coming through, so I may go get some ingredients or just walk around. We'll see. I will catch up with you later. For now, I'm gonna make my coffee, eat my cake, and listen to some Percy Jackson while just making sure I have all the work I need to have done for the next few days all done and ready. So I'll see you in a bit. Hi, I'm back. I am now going to get ready to get some ingredients for some baking, which I'm going to be doing this afternoon. Just to give a little reading update, I have read from chapter 7 to chapter 34, I think, of House of Hades, and I'm really enjoying it. I did read the 1st and 2nd book last year, And this month I've read Mark of Athena and now House of Hades. And the reason why I only read the first and second last year was because I didn't really enjoy them that much. I really liked Percy Jackson. I think it's a really solid YA series. Really enjoyed it. The first 5 books. But then when I went into Heroes of Olympus, I didn't have the best time with the first and second book. Percy and Annabeth were separated, which I hated. I'm not the biggest fan of Jason. I do love Leo and Hazel, and I do really like Frank and Piper, but I didn't really like Jason. In general, I didn't enjoy the first 2. So it took me a while to finally get to the 3rd and 4th, which, as I had heard before, were much better than the 1st and 2nd. And that is definitely true. I'm enjoying these 2 a lot more than the other ones, and a lot more than what I was expecting. So much so that I don't want to stop, and so I decided to bake this afternoon. For that, I need ingredients, so I'm gonna leave now to do that, and then maybe I'll start on my physical books after baking this afternoon. Update you later on. Hi, I'm back. I did just finish making my first batch of the madeleines. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm gonna eat the madeleines, which look lovely, with the tea I just made. And I'm going to finally start on my graphic novel. So let's see how it goes. Good morning, welcome to the second day of the vlog, and I've just been kind of cleaning up the house a bit and continuing to listen to my audiobook. Yesterday I finished House of Hades and I read My Aunt is a Monster, Reimena, I think. I really enjoyed both books. I'd say very solid reads. House of Hades was definitely a very good installment in the Heroes of Olympus series. I did really like it. I obviously can't really say anything about it really, but it was definitely exciting and it had a lot of character building and world building as well. As always, we visit important places in terms of Greek mythology and Roman mythology and all of that. It's obviously quest-based, and yeah, it was good. It was exciting, but I'm not gonna say Percy Jackson is my favorite thing in the world. I really like it and I love the characters. I think that's something that is really key. I did prefer the Mark of Athena to the House of Hades, but any book that has Nico is one of my favorites, so I really enjoyed that. I did manage to start last night after reading My Aunt is a Monster. I started The Blood of Olympus, which is the last book in the Heroes of Olympus series. And I continued this morning while having breakfast and kind of tidying the house a bit. I'm really enjoying this book already. Clearly, I'm still waking up. Moving on to My Aunt is a Monster. This book, guys, the best thing ever. It was so heartwarming, an adventurous story about acceptance. I think this book did what I thought was missing from the other book that this author wrote, which is, do we have Seance Tea Party. In Seance Tea Party, we had a lot of talk about growing up and not knowing where you fit in and all of these things, but it didn't have anything else. It was just very low action and nothing was happening throughout the whole story. You just had like everyday life of a young girl. While in this one, you have a bit of adventure, you have more things happening, you have an exciting family dynamic. It included all of those important and very well done themes, but it also had a bit more. I would definitely give this at least a 4-star rating, and Percy Jackson, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. I never know like how to rate Percy Jackson or books that I really love the characters and it's very nostalgic. But it doesn't mean I really love the plot and the story, because if it has my favorite characters, I will always love it. It doesn't really matter what is going on. Apart from if obviously the author decides to do something really crazy. But in general, I always really enjoy it. But for now, I think I'm gonna make maybe another coffee or a tea. I feel a bit low today, but also I want to read The Beautiful Ones. I have difficulty stopping what I'm doing when I'm reading a good book, and I'm really enjoying listening to Heroes of Olympus, and so I don't know if I want to like keep busy. I don't know what to do. I may start on this now, and if I decide to go on a walk, I'll go back to the audiobook. Oh my god, almost forgot to tell you how good those madeleines are. I feel like I have been experimenting with a few different flavors in my baking that I'm not this is something that I don't usually do. Like, I did those little thyme and lemon cookies, which were divine, honestly. And this one, the lavender and white chocolate, is so nice. And obviously a Madeleine has a specific, like, cakey but very soft and light texture. It's just so good. It completely melts in your mouth all together so quickly. Oh, it's amazing. And I may have eaten more than I've shown on camera. That's all I'm gonna say. So yeah, I will get back to reading and I'll update you later on. Hi, I am still here. I ended up doing a little bit of work while continuing to listen The Blood of Olympus, and I just stopped at the beginning of chapter 16. I am loving it, honestly. In this book we have Nico's perspective, or have had a bit of Nico's perspective. I mean, if a book consists of Percy, Annabeth, Nico, and Leo, I will be a happy camper. And that's what we've had in this book. We've had a bit of Percy. Actually, I'm saying this. We haven't had Percy. We've had Leo, we've had Nico, and we had Reimena, which was a quite interesting perspective, especially because she focused on talking about Nico. And then we did have Jason's perspective, which I found very confusing, and it was the first perspective. So I just decided to ignore that. This last perspective, which was, as I said, Nico. Oh my god, I am loving the book because of this. I feel like Nico is just so compelling. He has suffered so much, and he's just so disliked by so many people, but he's just a soft creature. There's no need to be disliked. So I feel like we all kind of want to hug him and just want him to be happy. In Heroes of Olympus, I'm gonna leave a little thing here saying that I'm gonna talk about a spoiler, but it was revealed in the last book that he used to have a crush on Percy, and oh my god, who hasn't? I feel like that's one of the reasons why we probably all relate to him a bit as well, because he's just struggling with life and trying to come to terms with the fact that he's gay, and he's had this crush on Percy for years. And I have been spoiled by the internet years ago that there's definitely something between Nico and Will Solus from the Apollo cabin. The reason why I'm reading all of these now is because I desperately want to read the new The Sun and the Star book. I desperately want to get to it, but I've decided to take a break. I am finally going to start The Beautiful Ones, but for now I'm just gonna stay in the sofa, stay right here. I'll melt into the cushions, drinking tea and melting into the sofa cushions. I have reached the 1,000 page mark read for this vlog. This book has over 300 pages. The House of Hades has around 600 pages, and I read slightly less than that because I had read 7 chapters already. And yeah, I figured out that House of Hades I read around 550 pages, and I have read around 140 pages of this book, I think. And so that makes it over 1,000. I want to start and finish The Beautiful Ones, which is 300, and then probably continue with The Blood of Olympus and see how far I can get into that. I shall stop filming this update right now and I'll start reading. Let's do this! good evening. I am sorry about the lighting. I am getting ready for bed. I have showered, had dinner, and I did start The Beautiful Ones by Silvia Moreno Garcia. I'm not that far into it because then I had to go prepare dinner, shower, and eat, and that meant I went back to the audiobook. But I read up to page 30, chapter 5. And I'm definitely going to go back to it now in bed. But yeah, I think that's all I came here to say. I'm really enjoying it already. Interesting dynamics. The setting sounds quite good. Up to this point, this is a 5-star book. I've read 30 pages. We'll see how that goes. But Heroes of Olympus, actually The Blood of Olympus, I read quite a bit more. Let me tell you the chapter I'm at. I have just started chapter 35, and that's around 315 pages. I still have around 200 pages to go on this book and 390 or so pages to go on the other book. So I still have a lot to read, and I still have tomorrow morning, and then I have to stop. That's technically more than a 48-hour readathon, but at the same time, I'm not going to be reading for 48 hours straight because I have to sleep. That's it. I had a long, nice shower. I did a face mask. I am now going to brush my teeth and cozy up in bed to read for a bit more. Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow morning. Hello. Welcome to the end of this vlog. It's actually been a few days and I definitely did not update you at all on the last day of the readathon. I'm very sorry about that. But basically I had to end the readathon at lunchtime, and that really didn't give me much time to give you an update on The Beautiful Ones, which actually I didn't end up reading as much as I wanted. I got to about 100 pages. Just below that, chapter 14, and then I had to leave for work, and so I ended up not updating you. But during the next few days after that, I ended up continuing, so I decided to just, finish it, and when I finished, I would come in and update you and actually give you a review on all of the books I read, instead of giving a kind of half review because I had already failed in finishing the vlog that day. So yes, at that point, I was unsure about this book. I was really enjoying the main characters' chapters, but I wasn't enjoying the other two characters' chapters. Technically, I would say there's 3 main characters, but the main one would be Nina, at least in my eyes. And then you have Hector, main romantic interest. And then you had Valerie as the bad guy. That's kind of how I describe it. I was kind of unsure when I was at the end of the readathon, but then obviously I continued reading. And I did really enjoy this story. I had a good time. This is a good book, especially a good historical fiction romance with a little sprinkle of magic. I really felt for Nina and Hector. I thought they deserved happiness and they deserved to be together because they really just made the other better, I would say. I mean, the main character didn't need anyone. She was perfect as she was. And yeah, Valerie was just a thorn in everyone's sides and she needed to go. Sorry, I'm not sure I've been very clear. This is a triple perspective book. You follow Hector, Nina, and Valerie. Hector and Valerie had known each other 10 years ago when they had a whirlwind romance. And then things fell apart, they moved apart, never spoke again. Then you have Nina, a younger girl that is the cousin of Valerie's husband. And she has come to live Valerie's house, or obviously her husband's house, for the season. And so she's going to be paraded in balls and dinners and get-togethers and whatever goes on in the season. But she doesn't like that. She's a country girl, basically. Even though her family's very rich, they have this big house in the countryside. She used to live there. She's now living with them in the big city, and she doesn't like it. She doesn't like that she has to do big styles with her hair or wear the horrible clothes her cousin picks. And when I mean her cousin, I mean Valerie. She doesn't like that she has to hide her magic, so the other people in society kind of gossip about her, and then it reflects on her family, that sort of thing. Hector is an entertainer, basically. He has his own magic, which is technically the same as Nina's magic, and he has worked his whole life to do tricks and to entertain people. So he has a thing going on at the theater a lot of nights a week, and everyone loves him, and he's rich because of it. But he's not a member of the society, or in this case, the beautiful ones. He's definitely a bit of an outsider. And Valerie, she comes from a very respected family, but her family has really lost all their money, so she's put in the position that she has to marry for money. She has to make an alliance with a rich person, and so she marries Nina's cousin because he is the heir to a fortune. They then discover they can't actually have kids, and he's very skimpy with the money for her family. So she is in a complicated position. She's unhappy. And when Hector comes into town, she kind of thinks he's going to come and wreck everything. But also, she still loves him, even though she's trying to cover that up in her mind. But yeah, that's kind of like that's the setup. And then drama ensues, guys. I'm not gonna give any spoilers, but it's rough. I wouldn't want to be in any of these people's position. It's not, I mean, it's romantic, but it's not great. I enjoyed the story. I thought it was an interesting story with a relatively happy ending. I really rooted for Nina and Hector halfway through. I definitely did not root for Valerie at once in this book. Once. Not even once. And I had to read all her chapters, which I did not care for. They're short chapters, which is good. It felt atmospheric, but not enough. I wanted a bit more atmosphere, but one of the perspectives was just thorn in my side. Did not care for it, but I think it's a great story. I think Silvia Moreno Garcia did an amazing job at really portraying something that unfortunately could happen in real life, and it really portrayed how feelings are complicated, and sometimes things happen that are out of your control, and no one comes in with a blank slate of a life. Everyone has baggage, and everyone has feelings and expectations in life and families. It's messy, but even though it's historical and there's magic, it felt real. But yes, because I didn't like Valerie's perspective, even though I think it was quite good that Silvia Moreno Garcia introduced the clear kind of villain perspective into the story, I definitely gave it a solid 4 stars. See the merit and how good this story was. I just really didn't need that villain's perspective, and I needed more atmosphere. Moving on, I've literally been talking about this book for like 20 minutes now. My Aunt is a Monster. Loved it. Nothing else to say. Fun, adventurous, heartwarming story. Want to hug all of them. Want to be their best friends. Want to live inside this book. Next, House of Hades. Solid book. Percy Jackson, always for the win. I really just want to finish all of the Heroes of Olympus to get to the Sun and the Star, even though I just read recently I might have to read The Trials of Apollo. Not saying I'm not going to enjoy them, I will. definitely. They're not going to be my favorite books ever, but I do think Rick Riordan is a solid young adult, middle grade young adult writer. His stories are good. The characters are very rootable. That's all I have to say. I enjoy the stories, not my favorite, but really solid and good. And so I will continue, and if I have to read The Trials of Apollo before I read The Sun and the Star, I guess I will. But I'm really, really excited for The Sun and the Star. And yes, now for page count. So I read just below 1,300 pages for this readathon in 30 hours. Do with that what you will. And yes, I had a nice relaxing time. I am quite happy with how much I've read and what I read. I mean, I had definitely a basically 5-star graphic novel. I had a really good book that I've been wanting to read for ages, and I still wanted to read it in spring. And I continued to read a series that I've been wanting to read for years, and I just want to get a move on that, you know. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was mostly me talking to the camera. But there were some cozy moments involved as well. I hope you continue to watch my videos and that you really like this one. And I'll see you next time. Bye!